Hi, this is another vinyl update. I've got a big pile of records to show off. Been buying quite a lot, mostly new stuff. Well, in fact, actually, all of it's new stuff. So first off, I've got two Alice Cooper records. Actually, it's the wrong way around. One's Dada, which is his 1983 album. It's the last one he did for Warner Brothers, and it's a really underrated work. A lot more darker than what he usually does. It's still pretty campy, but there's some tracks which points are quite harrowing, because some of it's about his sort of descent into alcoholism. Right, The Eyes of Alice Cooper is more of a poppier garage rock influenced album. It's still a pretty good record. Probably one of my favourite of his sort of ones that he's done after 2000. Got the sort of turquoise vinyl reissue of Exotic Creatures of the Deep. Not a particularly great album, but it's okay. This is another one. This is Isolation by Kali Uchis. For those who don't know, never heard of her, she's a sort of a Colombian American R&B soul singer. This one's a very modern sounding record in places, but there's moments on there where she does sort of retro-y soul music, a bit in a similar vein to Amy Winehouse, although there's bits in there where she dabbles with New Jack Swing and funk. It's a really, really great album. One of the better albums released this year. Got Leonard Cohen's Dear Heather. I mean, when I first heard this record years back, not long after it came out, I think I got it out of the library. I couldn't have bought this record. I always thought it was Leonard Cohen's worst album, and I still do. There's not much I like on there, but it feels like a bunch of offcuts just strung together. But there's a couple of keepers on there. I think my favourite track on there by far is Letters, which is a duet he does with Sharon Robinson. This one come through the day. This is Frank Zappa in The Mother's Invention, Burnt Weenie Sandwich. This is a new reissue. And yeah, it's from a Safety Master, which is interesting. So it's analogue. Some of these vinyl reissues, Frank Zappa vinyl reissues, are very good. I mean, compared to a lot of his, this is pretty much an instrumental record for the most part, except for the couple of doo-wop covers that sort of bookend each, the start and the finish of it. This is a better record than Hot Rats, in my opinion. Far better in many ways. So yeah, I'm glad to have that. My old copy was really beat up. I had an original from 1970. Again, it's nice to have a clean copy of that. I've got some AC/DC recently. I've always had a soft spot for this group. It's only recently that I've got more into their music. Highway to Hell is probably not my favourite album, but this was cheap, And the first side of it is really good, very consistent. The second, maybe not. But it's a solid album. And Back in Black, the first Brian Johnson record, is also, yeah, it's a pretty good record. I do like this one. I know it's considered their best, but it's not my personal favourite. I do tend to gravitate more to the Bon Scott records, but this is fun. And also the follow-up to it, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You, is another record which is very, very good. It's quite an underrated one. And last but not least, this massive box set. This is the soundtrack to Persona 5 for those who are not in the know, this is a Japanese role-playing game. And the soundtrack in this series has always been pretty top-notch. I think it's done by, I can't remember the name of the composer. I'm forgetting it. Not very good with names, especially if they're Japanese. Forget them. Shoji Meguro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, he's always done really, really great soundtracks for the series. The fourth one was sort of more of a J-pop one, and this one's more sounds more like something out of early 90s London. This is very jazzy, but in a sort of British acid jazz style. So there's bits of funk, soul, and jazz in here. It's trying to really sort of copy that sort of awkward sort of fusion of those styles that sort of came to prominence in the UK in the early 90s. This is a great album. Even if you're not a gamer, this is worth checking out. This is very good stuff. This comes on something like 4 vinyl LPs. Comes with a slip mat, which I can't use because mine's an automatic turntable. And yeah, so that one's grey. This one that's red. So this took a long time to come through because there've been issues with the pressing plant. And the pressing isn't the best. It's a bit half-hearted, but is someone who is a massive fan of this series of games. I'm just super stoked to have it. Would be cool if you could get the sort of other games in the series, a soundtrack from the other games in the series, pressed on vinyl. But yeah, I'm just so happy to have that. And so that's about it. It's there's some really interesting records coming out or being reissued next month. So I'm probably going to do another Vinyl Finds video. So until then, goodbye.